What's poppin', Chicago sports fans? We're back with the year in Chicago sports. And we're going way back to the year 1994. An action-packed year to remember. The year in Chicago sports. Let's get it. January 3rd, 1994, Chicago Stadium. The Chicago Bulls started the year with a win over the Detroit Pistons. Scottie Pippen started the year off with an almost triple-double with 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. Horace Grant started the year off with a double-double, 19 points, and 10 rebounds. Lindsey Hunter had 29 points, and good old Joe Dumars had 27 as well, as the Bulls end up with the win 97-91, bringing their record to 19-9 in their first year without Michael Jordan. And this team showed true grit and played every game like it was their last this season. The season will have more drama to come, so stay tuned. February 7th, Michael comes out of retirement to play baseball with the Chicago White Sox farm team to make a run at the pros. And what a surprise it was to the fans. Some thought Michael was joking, and some thought he was taking the spot of someone who deserved it more. But when the White Sox hitting coach asked how serious MJ was at baseball, Jordan said one word: dead. It was the 1994 NBA All-Star Game, and the Chicago Bulls had 3 players in the game: Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and B.J. Armstrong. Also in the game, there was Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, but Scottie Pippen was the star of stars, ending up with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals. Scottie was hungry to prove he belonged on the Dream Team and can hold his own in the league without Michael Jordan. He also won the MVP award and made the game a night to remember in Chicago sports. April 4th, 1994, and it was a beautiful 53-degree day at Wrigley Field for opening day of the 1994 season, and it was a sellout, of course. The wind was blowing out towards left field, and that played a factor in the game. Mike Morgan got the start against the White Doc Gooden, and it would not be a good game for both pitchers. The Cubs got a great unexpected game from outfielder Carl Tuffy Rhodes, as the outfielder had a record opening day, going 4 for 4 with 3 key home runs. All that wouldn't be good enough, as the Cubs lost 12-8 as left-hander John Franco got the close for the Mets. The 94 White Sox were slated as championship contenders. They lost to the Blue Jays 7-3 on opening day, April 3rd, 1994, but all attention was on Michael Jordan. A few days later, Michael Jordan would play in an exhibition game versus the Cubs on a big stage at Wrigley Field. The crosstown Windy City Classic was played in the years before the interleague play. He surprisingly had a classic Michael Jordan performance, going 2 for 5 with 2 key hits and 2 RBIs. And most importantly, always giving the fans what they want, bringing the sellout crowd to its feet with a standing ovation. And MJ was all smiles in the dugout. The Chicago Blackhawks squeaked into the playoffs after not having their best year to only be swept by the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. And that was the last hockey game in the old Chicago Stadium as the Hawks skated to a 1-0 score. Jeremy Roenick and friends were given one last standing ovation and said goodbye to the old Chicago Stadium, which had a lot of great memories for the Chicago Blackhawks. The 94 Bulls ended the season 55-27, third in the Eastern Conference. And in the first round, they swept the Cleveland Cavs pretty handedly. But the most notable series is the hated rivalry against the New York Knicks, in which there was a series of skirmishes capped off by the memorable brawl that broke out in front of Commissioner David Stern, started by Derek Harper and JoJo English. You could tell the commissioner looked clearly embarrassed. And the competitive fire came to a climax when Scottie Pippen put Patrick Ewing on the poster. But the most embarrassing moment was the 1.8 seconds Scottie Pippen sat out, all to watch Tony Kukoc hit the game winner. To cap it all off was the infamous Hugh Hollins call that ended the Bulls' overachieving championship hopes to win 4 straight. July 22nd, 1994. Michael Jordan hit his first home run with the single-A Birmingham Barons, and the crowd went crazy. This may have not solidified Jordan as a professional baseball player, but it showed how hard a worker he was to hit a home run with little to no experience. Early summer of the baseball season, there was rumors brewing that there was going to be a baseball strike. And like the majority of Major League Baseball owners, Jerry Reinsdorf remained relatively quiet during the 1994 season. Reinsdorf has a reputation for being a labor hawk, especially after his fingerprints were all over the 94 and 95 labor dispute. The players' strike eventually led to the cancellation of the 1994 season, a year in which the White Sox were in first place and boasted a World Series caliber team. So August 9th, 1994, the season was done and fans were pissed. Some swore to not ever come back, and a lot of people questioned Jerry Reinsdorf and his love for the game. September 4th, 1994, Eric Kramer got his first start, and he did not disappoint. He went 18 for 25 and ended up throwing for 212 yards. He also hooked up with tight end Chris Gedney for 2 touchdowns. Lewis Tillman had 19 rushes for 62 yards as the Bears came away with the opening day win against Tampa Bay, 21-9. It was September 8th, and the GOAT came out of retirement for one last glorious game at Chicago Stadium. the Scottie Pippen Celebrity All-Star Classic. The story was MJ was supposed to play and then changed his mind and then finally decided to play. And when he did, he put on a show and showed all the current players and fans he still got it. He had fans begging, MJ, please come back. He and Scottie Pippen went at it, and Jordan showed out, ending the game with 52 points. He also showed his true love for the Chicago Stadium for its last game by giving the logo one last kiss goodbye. November 1st, 1994, and the Bulls decided to have the official Michael Jordan retirement ceremony at the new United Center. His former teammates and some of the all-time greats were there to see MJ's number raised to the rafters. You could tell on their faces they either knew he would return or they just selfishly wanted him to return as well. It was all surreal, like a death in the family. But of course, it would not be his fate, as he returned 6 months later. He would be the first athlete to play in a stadium with a statue out in front of the arena. It was the Chicago Bulls' first game in the new United Center. With a seating capacity of 22,000, it is the largest arena in the NBA. The Charlotte Hornets came to town and brought Muggsy Bogues, Larry Grandmama Johnson, Dale Curry, and Scott Burrell. Scottie Pippen was his normal self with 22 points and 6 rebounds. And with the loss of Horace Grant, he will continue the season leading the Bulls in every statistical category. The Bulls start off the season with a win, and there is potential for this team. The Bears matched their 9-7 record under head coach Dave Wanstead for their first winning season since the end of the 1991 season. The club was one of 4 teams from the NFC Central to make the playoffs. This was also the NFL's 75th anniversary, so the Bears won 1920s era throwback jerseys in a few games. The Bears celebrated their first playoff win since January 6, 1991, with a hard-fought road victory over the NFC Central champion, the Minnesota Vikings, 35-18, before being knocked out by the eventual Super Bowl champion, the San Francisco 49ers, 44-15 at Candlestick Park. 1994 was the last time the Bears made the playoffs during the 1990s, as the following seasons would be disastrous. They would not return to the postseason until 2001. So, Chicago sports fans, what do you think? Was 1994 the most action-packed year for Chicago sports? Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.